Hey there, Mama. Have you noticed your little one being just a little extra clingy lately? Constantly wanting to be held, needing those extra cuddles? Well, guess what? You are not alone. And it's not just a phase. There's something cosmic going on. So stay tuned as I dive into the astrological influences that might be turning your baby into a cuddle monster right here on Paddle Forward, navigating life's currents. Let's explore what's in the stars together. Welcome to Power Forward, the podcast where we navigate the currents of life, embracing motherhood, mindfulness, and the pursuit of your dreams. I'm your host, Anacani Walters, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey with you. In each episode, I'll dive into insightful conversations, sharing inspiring stories, and exploring practical strategies to help you unleash your creativity, find happiness within yourself, and navigate the beautiful but sometimes challenging waters of life. Whether you're a new mother seeking balance, a dreamer in pursuit of your passions, or simply someone looking to live a more mindful and fulfilling life, this podcast is for you. Together, we'll paddle forward, embracing the waves of change and discover the extraordinary possibilities that lie ahead. So grab your metaphorical paddle, grab your favorite oil, inhale the peace, exhale the chaos, and let's dive into today's episode. Hey, beautiful. So I'm sitting like literally in my car. I just finished teaching a baby in me yoga class, and I scarfed down a Subway Veggie Delight. I actually decided this week to try vegetarianism, and that's like another episode on its own. I just needed some type of change in my diet. I'm starting to just feel the effects of being 43, and I know that it doesn't have anything to do with my age. It has to do with how I'm taking care of the temple that we call our body. And I just was like, I need to back off meat. Some of you guys might know my backstory, that I had two heart conditions that I was diagnosed with at the age of 25. And when I got pregnant, I went on the whole holistic dive and did a bunch of um, lifestyle changes essentially. And after I gave birth, I got off both my blood pressure medications, and I've been medication free for 2 years, which the doctors said would never happen. And so I'm just constantly checking it, making sure that I'm being mindful and safe. And yeah, I just felt like something needed to change. So I wanted to talk about, so this week specifically, my son has been extra affectionate, needing extra attention, wanting to be carried all the time, just running around the house, just like just, being super emotional. And for me, I'm like, what is wrong? And he doesn't want it. It ends up being like nothing. Like, he feels super soothed as soon as I pick him up, but it typically has to be me. It cannot be my husband. He'll be okay for like a few seconds, and then he'll want to come down and he'll come look for me. Like, anytime I leave the room, he's having problems sleeping because he's constantly like feeling for me. Like, it's just been really crazy. And I just was like, it's, just a phase he's going through. But as I've been going through the week, I have been noticing that more moms are having the same, I don't want to say it's an issue because it's not an issue, but the same kind of situation with their kids in all kinds of different, my son's a little bit over 2, a mom who was 12 months, has their baby 12 months, a 10-month-old. Like, it was just a bunch of different age ranges, and they were all not complaining, saying the same thing. Like, sleep's been like so just awful because she hasn't, or they haven't been wanting to sleep. They've been wanting to be picked up all the time. I can't even leave the room. There's been no like me time. It's just been really like just a lot. And so I started to think, like, this can't be coincidental that like all these women are having the same thing. So it made me have like this aha moment on how we're just like so over focused on like children, you know, common things, that we kind of forget that they're human too. like when we see them, we tend to not associate them with like adult things, but in reality they have the same energy that we do. They share the same energies, and I'm really big on energies. I'm a huge empath, and so I can sense when someone's not doing well or something's wrong, as soon as they walk into the room. Like I can feel it. I don't even need to ask like what's going on, like what's wrong. Like I know something's wrong. And so I just was like, let me look to see what's going on in the universe that could be causing this shift of energy that we as adults may either be like blowing off, or we're so consumed with our children that we're not even acknowledging the same problems within ourselves. And so I wanted to talk today about just this topic of cosmic cuddles, like is what I wanted to call it. But like if you're into energies in just general, um a lot of people look to astrology to kind of, like, if they're having a really off week or an off month or an off like quarter or an off year, they tend to look at astrology to see where the alignment of the planets are, to see that drawing. Like I'm a huge believer as a nurse. Like you talk to any nurse and ask them like if they've ever spent time in like the emergency room or urgent care during a full moon, like that place is chaotic. And why? It's because the moon, just like how it affects the tide, it affects people and it amplifies whatever they're going through. So if you have somebody who's having like some chaotic, like, breakdown mentally, like it will make it amplified. And so you end up having like a really crazy, sometimes interesting, some of the most interesting nights I've had as a nurse has been on full moons in the emergency room. So, anyways, um, and so noticing, if you're noticing that your child is really needing more hugs, they're wanting to be held constantly, or maybe they're just even displaying, behaviors that seem like they're almost regressing in their behavior as children, know that you're not alone, especially like this week as the time of the recording for this, because that's why I wanted to record it. And so, many parents that I've been talking to are experiencing this. And so I just wanted to explore some of the astrological events that are happening right now that could be influencing your little ones. And so if it really resonates with you, if you're like, oh my God, that's exactly what's happening in our household, then it might be just something that you might want to think about when you're like at home, maybe having some struggles and you're not really sure what's going on. And you've kind of gone through the checklist of all the other things that it could be, like thinking outside the box. And so the first thing is that on June 26th, we have Venus trine into the Neptune, which is basically, it's bringing this wave of emotional sensitivity, and it's really causing this deep need for comfort and closeness. And so for our little ones, it's basically translating into seeking that extra attention, that those extra, what I'm looking at is just like extra cuddles, and really seeking that outside reassurance. Um, and so it's important for us to just encourage them to continue to seek us out. And it's encouraging us to maybe just take this moment to connect more deeply with the people that we love, including our kids. And that really started happening on June 26th, 2024 at the time of this recording. So on June 28th is actually coming up. Mars is going to be opposite of Pluto. And what this is going to cause, it's going to cause this intense energy that can be overwhelming for both children and adults. And so your kids, you might see that they're feeling this need for extra security and comfort on this day, which again will lead to more clinginess. And it's really this time of transformation. And so you might notice that your children might be seeking extra support, especially with navigating like big feelings. And so just reassuring them. And then June 30th, the sun is going to be trine into Saturn, which um, emphasizes again this sense of stability and security. And so everybody, especially children, may want to stick close to what feels safe and familiar during this time. And so it's going to be natural for them to want to be near us more often than they usually would, and to actually seek us out because they're craving that stability. And so I just wanted to come on and just kind of like talk about this just in general. It's not for everybody. Not everybody believes in this. When I started to go into microbiology and had to take like chemistry and stuff, I really started to understand this whole energy aspect. And now I'm into like qigong and really understanding my own qi. And we just have like this massive power within ourselves to self-regulate, to self-heal. And we just don't take advantage of it. And we also sometimes allow other people's energies to really interfere or kind of damage our own, like we carry it on, or we allow them to manipulate ours. And so it's really important that you're aware of it, whatever you call it. Just taking times like this. So like, if your baby or your toddler is being super extra affectionate and needing to be held more than usual, or even displaying again like those behaviors that seem like they're like almost regressing, and like being more like, if your toddler was talking and all of a sudden they're using like more regressed language like mama, or like what we would call baby talk, don't necessarily see it as a negative thing. Just kind of understand that there's stuff going on that's way beyond you and them, that could be affecting how they're behaving. And understand the biggest thing, that it's not you as a parent. And they're really just needing it's, to me, what I said in the yoga class today. It's not a bad thing if you give it an opportunity to look at it, the situation, that way. Think of it as you are doing an amazing job as a parent, because it's just proof of how strong your bond is with your child. Um, and, understand that astrological influences can affect your child behavior, emotions, and it can heighten their need for comfort and closeness. And they're going to come to you because you represent trust, confident, they feel confident, they feel calm, like all the positive things. That's what you're evoking, and that's why they're coming to you. And so I want you to just take these opportunities to really enjoy these extra snuggles. This phase is going to pass, and your loving presence is exactly what they need right now. And just take it as a compliment and embrace it. And just think of it like cosmic cuddles, and know that you're providing the security and love that your child needs during this really just this sensitive time. And then if you start to self-reflect, maybe you're journaling, maybe you're just taking a moment while you're listening to me and thinking, and self-reflecting on your own needs, and maybe noticing your behaviors are kind of similar, but you weren't giving it that opportunity, or you weren't, being aware of it because you were so focused on baby. um Now you kind of have an understanding of, this could be it. Like, it's not you, you're not losing your mind, you're not hormonal, like there's all these things that we could blame it on. And just know that there's cosmic powers out there working, that you just weren't, like, we weren't even thinking about. Like, I know I definitely wasn't. And it just kind of was like, you know what, I'm gonna look to see what's going on in the universe, and if that's affecting our kids. So I want to thank you again, for just hopping on with me really quick. I hope you're doing amazing. I see you. I see all the things that you do on a daily basis that don't necessarily get acknowledged. I know you don't do it for rewards or necessarily acknowledgments. You do it out of your own love. And I just know that sometimes it's really nice to still be acknowledged, whether you do it for acknowledgments or not. It's nice to be seen, and I see you. You're doing an amazing job. remember that you are doing the best you can. And that, my love, is enough. So as I hop off, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. I hope you enjoy the extra cosmic cuddles. And I want to thank you for again joining me on this episode of Paddle Forward. I hope this gave you some type of inspiration or guidance and gave you some practical tools to really navigate your journey a little bit more mindful and with purpose. Remember that no matter where you are in life, you have the power to steer your own course. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe to Paddle Forward on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to support the show, which I would so truly appreciate it, I would love it if you could leave a positive review and share it with friends or families that you know might benefit from this episode. I'd love to hear from you too. Please connect with me on social media at Anacani Walters on all platforms and share your thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future episodes. Again, your feedback is invaluable to me as we navigate this journey together. Please be sure to check out my private community areas. I have a Facebook private group for moms over 35. Again, it's not exclusive, but it's basically primarily focused on moms over 35 to build that community and give you guys that support that I know you really need. Coming from a mom who got pregnant at 40, I know how much community is so important in our journey as moms. And I also have a private member area that you can get access to for free, where I give you challenges, more content that I don't share on social media, behind the scenes, and so much more. You can get access to it when you sign up for my newsletter, and you can discover all of that. I'll put a link in the show notes. So remember, every paddle stroke brings you closer to your dreams. So keep paddling forward, embrace the challenges, and embrace the beauty of the journey. Until next time, stay inspired, stay beautiful, and keep paddling forward.